Hello, BookTube. Sorry for the late hour of upload. My day started out normal and then suddenly filled up with humans. And not General Grant or Alexander Solzhenitsyn, but actual three-dimensional breathing humans. I can't just close the covers on to make them behave. And it looks like that's going to continue. I don't know for sure. I don't want to insult the fates, but there's a chance. Now, hold on to your garter belts here at BookTube. There's a chance that I won't be able to film a video at all tomorrow. Are you prepared to go a day without Steve? I don't think so, but we'll see. I will do my best. I just, I realize one of the pragmatic uh, approaches to that suspicion would be to film a video or two tonight. I just, I don't know. Something about that bothers me. Have done it occasionally, but something about pre-filming videos. I mean, the main worry that most booktubers have when they pre-film a bunch of videos is that they're not bothering to change their shirt and they're worried that people are going to think they have no hygiene. As we've already covered on this channel, if you see me wearing the same shirt 4 or 5 videos in a row, it's because I haven't changed it. I do sometimes simply read for huge stretches of time, interspersed only by caring for dogs. That sometimes happens. No, the thing that has bothered me about it when I've done it is that it feels like it breaks this spell. These are conversations for me, and that's not. And I don't mean that in the fake way that a lot of well, not many booktubers, but a lot of YouTubers. Oh God, some of them are revolting to talk to listen to, because you know that they don't care about their viewers at all. It's all AdSense. It's totally plastic. But for me, it's not a figure of speech. It really does feel like a conversation. It feels like I'm talking to you every day. And I don't know, when I do, which is just fine to do 5 or 6 videos and then upload them all. But to do a video and then hold it so that when I upload it the next day, I'm not actually talking to you because it's a day later. That doesn't make any sense. I know. All right, well, never mind. I don't know why I went down that rabbit hole. The thing is, I know that I could film another video tonight, but I think I'm going to count instead on the shift of events tomorrow allowing me a little time for waffling and ranting. But in the meantime, I have a mail haul. It arrived very late in the day, and I've just let it sat there while I've done a lot of writing, so that I haven't looked at it. So now we will. It's a nice fair amount of packages, and it ends with a box. So that'll be that. I think that'll be it for today, and then I'll just hunt around for an opportunity tomorrow. The first one is from Oxford, and I love Oxford. So let's see what this is. The last book they sent me was Diogenes Laertius in a new translation with annotations. They're going to be hard pressed to beat that. So let's see. Okay, this is no cover art at all here. This comes out in May, and it is called Rethinking America from Empire to Republic by John Murin, who is one of the foremost scholars of early America, a professor of history. He was a professor of history at Princeton University for 30 years, and is the author of over 50 essays and the co-author of the textbook Liberty, Equality, and Power. Okay. It won't come out until May. May, when it'll be 97% humidity and in the mid-70s Fahrenheit every day, with probably no rain and lots of sunlight. Yeah, that'll be May. Yeah. Diametrically opposed to October, of course. John M. Murren is the consummate historian's historian. Slow down there, Seymour. If anybody's going to sling around that particular cliche, it's going to be me. And this is his long-awaited collection of his seminal essays on the American Revolution. Oh, so this is a collection of essays. So what have we got here? What kinds of things have we got here? The Great Inversion, or Court versus Country, a comparison of the revolutionary settlements in England and America. Fundamental Values on the Founding Fathers and the Constitution. Okay, so it sounds meaty. And it comes out in May, when it comes dog walking time, I will not be able to simply walk outside in my shirt sleeves because there'll still be a lingering touch of winter. Or maybe not. Don't even need a coat. Haven't needed one in 10 months. Anyway, we'll move on. This one's big and flat. Maybe it's vinyl, the vinyl that my fellow hipsters and I love so much. Here, let's we finally get a kind of music reproduction technology that's really hardy, doesn't break, doesn't shatter, and has an unlimited technological ability. You know what we should do? We should go back to the imperfect old version with fuzz and pop and excessive fragility. Yeah, that'll be the way to show that we really care. So what have we got here? Oh, it's a catalog. Oh, it's Zondervan, one of the main religious publishing houses, Christian publishing houses. Oh my. So they do a ton of Bibles. They do a ton of research Bibles and annotated Bibles and whatnot. And they do a bunch of religious themed books as well. And quite a few of it will be, walking through the daisies with Jesus, that sort of thing. And quite a few of the Bible studies will be aimed at teenagers who are already believing Christians. So, not to put too fine a point on it, but they will be worthless as Bible studies. That title will mislead anyone who's not already, a charter member of the cookie stand. But they also do real stuff, and they do every season. They do at least 3 or 4 real books that you really want to read if you're interested in theology, and I'm gonna have to resist the urge to just dig through this whole thing because oh my God, Zondervan, when they're good, they're really good, and The Christian Faith by Michael Horton, 1,056 pages. All right, I'm gonna put this away. I will deal with Zondervan in my own time. All right, let's move on. A catalog. I could stand a few more catalogs, spring catalogs, that sort of thing. That would be nice. All right, what do we got here? Okay, this is a finished copy. I think we've seen this, the advanced copy of this. This is Who Reads Poetry? 50 Views from Poetry Magazine. I will resist the urge to make the snotty rejoinder, who cares? We'll just move on. But the simple truth is that aside from an example here and there, an exception every once in a while, I myself don't read poetry. So I don't think I could review this thing. I'm certainly not its target audience. So let's move on here. What is this next one? Oh my! Oh goodness gracious! Okay, this is the look at the size of the publicity material. It's a book on its own. This also comes out in mid-November. This is the finished copy of Artemis by Andy Weir. And the pre-publicity material is designed, it's not a single sheet, it's designed to let you know that the circus is coming to town. So you've got all of his appearance dates, you've got tons and tons of pre-publicity and interviews and whatnot, all for Artemis, Andy Weir's follow-up to The Martian. In one sense, your heart really has to go out to him, because how do you follow up The Martian? How do you do that? No matter who you are, it's going to be tough. I read Artemis and was, I don't know if this is a contradiction in terms, I was deeply unimpressed. But, time has gone by, and now I will give it another read and see if maybe I missed something. Because, that same thing happened with The Martian. I first read The Martian a few months before it came out and thought, God, if I have to read one more crappily constructed paragraph, one more lunging ba-dum-bump joke that doesn't land, one more pop culture rock and roll reference, I'm gonna choke. And I originally finished the book only thinking about that, just irritated about what a slapdash production it was. And then it worked on me. I kept thinking, well, though, regardless of how it's told, there's a kind of mythic simplicity to the story itself. There's a magnetic simplicity to the story. So I read the thing again with my filters on for the things, that were going to annoy me, and liked it quite a bit. I've actually recommended it to plenty of people. I had no idea it would become as massively successful as it was. But if the same thing was true of Artemis, my first reaction was, I've seen all this before done better, and all the stuff that's even remotely original is boring. Uh, Maybe I'll try it again. I certainly will. I'll try it again and see. But in the meantime, let's move on here. We're inching closer to the box. What is? Oh, this is Tor. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Well, okay. So this comes out in mid-November, and it's from Tor, but I'm still not allowed onto their science fiction list, I guess. This is a historical novel. It's by Michael Livingston. It's called The Realms of God. It's a historical novel about ancient Rome. The cover shows a woman in some kind of Halloween costume. I have no idea what that costume has to do with ancient Rome, but she's holding a dagger. So it's probably the cover designer's idea of what Roman women wore. Let's see here. The Ark of the Covenant has been spirited out of Egypt to Petra, along with the last of its guardians. But dark forces are in pursuit. 3 demons, inadvertently unleashed by Juba of Numidia and the daughter of Cleopatra, are in league with Tiberius, son and heir of Augustus Caesar. They've seized 2 of the fabled shards of heaven, lost treasures said to possess the very power of God, and are desperately hunting the rest. Through the war and assassination, from Rome to the fabled Temple Mount of Jerusalem and on the very gates of heaven itself, the forces of good and evil will collide in a climactic battle that threatens the very fabric of creation with a capital C. So this is fantasy. It's got the trappings of some kind of historical fiction. I don't know. I mean, the jacket blurb might not be written by the author and might not be overseen by them. Well, usually it is, though. So from the jacket blurb, I would think that the elements of so-called history in this historical fiction are every bit as fantastical as demons from hell or whatever, because the Ark of the Covenant, of course, is an item of myth. It never existed. It is an item of myth. And also, Tiberius wasn't Augustus' son, so we're in big trouble. But maybe the whole thing is meant to be sort of an alternate reality fantasia on ancient Rome. It sounds like it's close to that. So, and then move on to this next one. Another big white thing. I would also say Tor, except nobody's going to send me Tor books. Nobody's going to send me actual science fiction. So what have we got here? Okay. Oh, okay. This is by Arnaldur Indridason, The Shadow District. And this is the author of Jar City and Reykjavik Nights. I liked Reykjavik Nights. I read it and liked it. So let's see here. In the debut of a new series from the international mystery giant, the murder of a woman in Reykjavik during World War II becomes a piece in the puzzle of a contemporary killing. Oh, this is Minotaur, not Tor. A retired detective named Conrad remembers the earlier murder from his childhood and is surprised when, assisting in the case of a 90-year-old man who was smothered in his bed, he comes across clippings that the old man kept of the murder. It happened in the Shadow District, a rough neighborhood bordered by the National Theater where Conrad grew up. But why would someone be interested in that crime now? Okay, this also comes out in November, and this is the first in a gripping new series. Okay, all right, and this is translated. Yes, translated from the Icelandic by Victoria Cribb. Okay, and then we get to the box. We have reached the box at last. So let's see what this is. What have we here? Oh, well, okay. This is an item that will be known on certain corners of BookTube. This is As God Might Be by none other than Neil Griffiths, BookTube's own Neil Griffiths. This is his great big novel. Good Lord. Oh my. Look at the size of this thing. Okay, this is, let's see here. Yeah, it's 600 pages long. And let's see. There is no middle flight about this mighty novel, and at its heart there is that divine madness, which is the mark of the true work of art. That's blurred by Mike McCormick. And Sarah Maitland's blurb is Imagine If You Can, a contemporary novel with the theological engagement of Dostoevsky and the ethical seriousness of George Eliot. Okay. So I actually can imagine that, right? Any reader of Marilyn Robinson can imagine that. As A God Might Be addresses some of the most serious and pressing questions about our 21st century sense of identity without cynicism or soppiness, and it will confront all open hearted or open minded readers with themselves and the universe they stand in. This is a strange, disturbing, and beautiful book. Huh. Okay, so what have we got here? When Professor McCullough decides to desert his comfortable London life to build a church on a cliff top, nobody knows what to make of it. McCullough is not religious. Is it a midlife crisis? Has he gone mad? Is he suffering a spiritual breakdown in a secular age where identity is shaped by wealth and status? Or has he really been chosen by God for a new revelation? McCullough finds himself torn between love for his family and a group of local drifters who are helping him to build his church. When one of these drifters commits a shocking act to test his beliefs, McCullough finds himself pushed to the very limits of understanding and forgiveness. As a God Might Be is an epic novel, and Proctor McCullough is a complex and deeply human character struggling to cope with the grand issues of modern life. And you can tell right there. I mean, I don't know anything about the book other than what I just read, but you can tell from these descriptions and those blurbs that this is indeed a Neil Griffith's production. It digs right into the deep end of the pool. No fussing around, no marriage contract, no nothing like that. Fantastic. Okay, well, something just shot to the front of the reading list. So we have the Steve Pyramid. We'll start with as a God Might Be. This is by our very own Neil Griffiths. And then The Shadow District, first in a new series. Then The Realms of God, in which the Ark of the Covenant makes its way to the Rome of Tiberius Caesar. Then the finished copy of Artemis by Andy Weir. Who Reads Poetry from Poetry Magazine. Rethinking Empire, a collection of essays about colonial America. And is that it? Oh, the Zondervan catalog too. That's the one that's on my mind, and I just forgot about it. All right, so that's interesting. That's very interesting. So we have two books with God in the title and the Zondervan catalog. That's coincidence? I think not. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for there, and we'll just have to see what happens tomorrow. Believe me, I find being sought after as distasteful as you no doubt do. So I will see what happens and we'll play it by ear. I hate that, but we'll give it a try. And if later on in the night, like 3 or 4 in the morning, the time when I made so many recent videos, if it's starting to look like I'm not going to have any time tomorrow to film a video, then maybe I will stretch a point and just make one anyway, in the can, as it were. And the rest of you will maybe understand. I'll try to make it as engaging as possible, but I would rather hold out for the spontaneous one-on-one. So we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you posted. Thank you, BookTube.